Hi, this is Kamera Points in the Bible, day number 150, Esther chapter 1 through chapter 5. Great points in Esther, so many points in Esther. I'm just going to call out a few. Guys, if you have any, please place them in the comments area. I'm just going to give a brief summary. Xerxes, he was king of Persia at the time. He had this great banquet that lasts over 6 months, just showing off his vast wealth, his splendor, his majesty, as everything that he owned, he's just showing it off. Well, one day he was in high spirits. He decided he's going to call out his queen Vashti, show her off her beauty. Well, Vashti, she wasn't feeling it. She had her own banquet going on, and she didn't go. She rejected. So when he got the report that she was not coming, the queen was not coming, he became very angry. He was furious. And so he consulted his advisors, wise men who knew the law. And so they basically told him that what she did was dishonorable, not only toward him, but to the rest of their provinces, because she was an example, and the other wives would feel like they can just disrespect their husbands like that. Yeah. And so they recommended that she be put aside. Yeah, put aside, taken down from queen, and that he find someone who's more worthy. Yeah, and so he needs to send out this edict that can't be changed, that she would lose her position as queen. And he agreed to it. He agreed to it. So now every man would not have to worry about that, because she's been taken care of, and every woman should respect her husband. I don't think I'm going to even touch that point. We know she had a position that she had to play as being queen. Was she going through rebellion, deciding she didn't want to be paraded like that? I'm not certain. And this thing, yes, we are representatives, and she had to be made examples of what they feel. Yeah, the things women suffer to strengthen their men, right? I'm just saying, there's two sides to that coin. Equal partners. I'm just saying, I'm not going to put my personal opinion in that. I have too much to say on that issue. So we're moving right along, okay? So anyway, lo and behold, later, King is now, so he's somber now. He's sober. He think about what had happened. So of course his advisors tells him to go ahead and let's look for a young wife to replace Vashti. And so yeah, the search is out for the young, beautiful virgins. And so lo and behold, how about this Mordecai guy? He was from the tribe of Benjamin, a Jew. He has a cousin who he takes care of. She's an orphan, but she's an adult. He's the one who raised her. And so they take her. They don't know she's a Jew, though. He told her, Mordecai told her, Esther, not to, tell anyone who, her origin. And so, yeah, so now she's taken in, and so over a lot of other young, beautiful women. One thing I like about Esther is that she listened to Mordecai. She respected him clearly because she took his advice. Anyway, but she seemed to be a humble person. I love looking at the character of the people in the Bible as well. And our character is everything. I mean, she seemed to be a humble person, because the Haggai, who was over the harem where all the women were, she listened to him. She found favor with him, and he gave her the best of everything while she was in his care. So all the women, they had to go through a 12-month treatment, and all of them, before they had to go and see the king, they would go at night after their 12-month treatment. They would, before they go and see him, they get to choose something from the treasury, and they can choose anything they want. They go see the king that night. They stay from night to morning, and then they go to the other harem. And if the king likes them, he'll call them again by name. Fast forward, you have Esther. You know what's great about Esther again? Even though she was there, when she go to the garden, she would see Mordecai because he would be near, and he would always check on her. So, and she always followed his instructions. If any word got back to him, from him to her, then she would follow his wisdom. But she also was wise enough to listen to the guy who was over the harem. I love the fact that it shows her character. She's humble, and she's wise. She's smart enough to take advice. So it was time for her to go. She chose the way he told her to chose, and the king actually liked her, and he chose her. He actually was very attracted to her, and she was named queen. This is a Jewish person who would never have seen where her life was going to take her. That part right there is very interesting all by itself, a random person like that, right? And who would have ever thought her life would end up there? Her parents died, and she wound up living with her cousin. First of all, she was an exile. Mordecai was an exile from Jerusalem. And look where he is now. So get this. In time, Haman was honored by the king. And in this honor, people would have to bow to him. It doesn't matter who they are, they had to bow to him and show him respect. Well, Mordecai, he didn't do it. Scripture doesn't say why he didn't do it. Did the Lord, God doesn't come up? Was it because he had no respect for the man and he was just being rebellious? Did God just tell him not to bow down to Haman? I don't know. He did not. And that bothered Haman. People would, ask Mordecai, why is it that you're not bowing down? He just never did. And so Haman did not like that. And Haman would be in a good mood until he saw Mordecai. What get me about Haman is you are so blessed. And he allowed Mordecai to distract him from his blessings. And that right there, guys, we always have to remember, be careful. Satan's job is to distract you. Is to distract you from God's blessings. Mordecai had got this very high position, higher than most people, all people just about. But he let Mordecai stop him, that pride thing, right? Isn't that something? Pride. Be careful of that pride. And so you had where Mordecai wouldn't bow to him, and yeah. So Haman he goes and he finds out that Mordecai is a Jew, and instead of getting at Mordecai, he decides to attack the Jews. He goes to the king and he tells the king, there's this group of people who won't bow down to you. They have no respect. They disrespect your rules. You should just kill them all. So the king is like, okay, fine, do whatever you feel is right. So he takes the king signet ring, and he seals this edict that says that all Jews will die on a certain day. Yeah. So of course you have Jews all over now. This edict went throughout. It's 127 provinces. Anyone can kill a Jew. Jews cannot fight back. And so, of course, Mordecai heard this. Now he's all saying, mourning and stripping and mourning and all that stuff. Guys, we need to be careful because what we do can affect a lot of people. It's not about your little selfish rebellion. I'm not saying he was selfish rebellion. We don't know why he did it. But be careful of your action. It affects the people around you. In this case, it affects a whole nation of people. And so Esther, she hears that her uncle or her cousin is in mourning, fasting, and the way he's dressed in sackcloth and ashes, he's at the palace gate. And so she sends word, and he tells her messenger, a eunuch who's in charge, to let her know what was going on. and that she needs to fight for the Jews because she is in position. She is queen. She has access to the king. He sends back a message and she sends back the message and says, everyone knows that if you approach the king without being called, you can be killed. And so Mordecai is like, don't think because you're in that palace that you are safe. Who's to say that you weren't put into position for such a time as this? So she got that message and she went into action. She said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. Have everyone to fast while I do this. So that's what he did. He went out, Mordecai went out, and he had everyone, let everybody know to fast. On the third day, she goes to the king. The king sees her. He holds up his scepter and she touches it. It means that she is safe. She invites him to a banquet. He and Haman to a banquet. So they went to that banquet. Haman and the king went to Esther's banquet. And king was like, I'll give you anything you have, my kingdom. So she's like, was it half a third? Anyway, he was like, anything you want, I'll give it to you. And so she says, you know what, Haman, can you and Haman come to a different banquet, another banquet? So he's fine. He's good. Okay, fine. And so how about Haman is so happy. He got this high position. He's, this very respected and honored. And he got something that no one else got. Private party with the king and the queen. He's so happy. But then when he see Mordecai, his spirits are down. Gone. All that joy gone. Distracted from God's blessing. Distracted from all his blessings. His pride because Mordecai won't bow down to him. Guys, be careful. Count your blessings. Don't let Satan distract you from the blessing that God has given you. Come on. So he goes home and all his friends at his house, him and his wife, he's bragging about, his position, his wealth, and how he was invited to the private party. Is nothing when I see Mordecai and he won't bow down to me. Dude, seriously? So his wife talks him into building this pole, get the king's permission to impale Mordecai. Mordecai. The thing is, right after Esther became queen, Mordecai actually overheard some people plotting to kill, two men plotting to kill the king. He told Esther Told the king and gave Mordecai credit. And those two men, they investigated, found out the people had plotted to kill the king, and they were executed. Yeah, I forgot to mention that a little bit earlier. So that's where we are right now, where he is now. Haman is very happy that he has a remedy for dealing with Mordecai. Now he's happy. Isn't that something that's what it takes to be happy? And guys, don't forget, God got you here for a reason. It's not for your own selfish reasons. Always seek God, for direction. And when he placed you in a position, it's not just for you. Ask him, Lord, why do you have me in this position? Help me to understand why I'm in this position. Besides all the blessings you're going to get, what is the reason he have you in that position? Be open to do what he wants you to do, which will be a selfless act. It's not always about you. So God have you in that position for a reason, no matter what it is. So guys, those are my points. You have any? Please add them in the comments area. This points in the Bible. Day number 150, Esther, chapter 1 through chapter 5. You have a God-filled blessed day.